For over 100 years, no one knew what was hidden beneath the floorboards of that tiny Montana church. Not the congregation, not the deacon, not even the town's mayor. But one man found it, and he never told a soul. What he uncovered in the dark would spark rumors, vanish a man, and leave behind a treasure that might still be buried to this day. Montana, 1913. The town of Basin Hill was already dying. Built during the mining boom, it had seen its saloons, boarding houses, and general store fade into quiet decay. The only thing that remained untouched was the white wooden church on the hill. Weather-beaten, modest, always open. It was run by Reverend Elijah Granger, a man as unremarkable as the sermons he gave. No family, no debts, no scandal. And then one morning, after a long freeze, something strange happened. A floorboard beneath the pulpit lifted just enough to catch his boot. When he pried it up, he expected rot. Instead, he found sapphire. Not just any sapphire, a vivid royal blue gem, still caked in Montana soil, glinting beneath the lantern light. Granger didn't scream. He didn't celebrate. He simply stared and covered it back up. But that night, after the congregation had left and the final candle flickered out, he returned with a shovel, and that's where it started. For months, he dug in secret beneath the church, always careful to replace the boards before sunrise. No one knew. No one could know. Amos Kilpatrick was a deacon, barely in his 20s, loyal, bright, and deeply suspicious of the Reverend's growing absences and dusty boots. One night, he followed him. 2 days later, Amos was gone. The town believed he skipped out, off to find work in the next valley. But his coat and boots were still in the church closet, his lunch pail untouched. Reverend Granger never mentioned him again, and no one had the courage to ask. As the years passed, families moved away, minds closed. Basin Hill faded into obscurity, but Reverend Granger stayed, alone in his church, alone with the sapphires. Some said he sold them in secret, traveling under a false name to towns where no one asked questions. Others claimed he'd gone mad, speaking in whispers to something down in the hole he'd dug, something he called the Blue Mouth. When a record-setting blizzard hit in 1931, a passing traveler took shelter in the abandoned church. What he found became legend. Reverend Granger was frozen at his desk, eyes open, hand clutching a single sapphire. Around his neck was a small brass key. Authorities found torn journal pages inside the desk. Granger had written about a vein of blue fire running beneath the church, about digging deeper, about hearing things in the dark. But they never found the tunnel, never found the sapphires. And shortly after, the church collapsed in a thaw. Some say it was weather, others say it was the earth, swallowing the secret once more. Today, treasure hunters still hike to Basin Hill. They scan the overgrown foundation. Some even claim they've seen flashes of blue in the dirt. One man posted online that he found a locked trapdoor, but the video cut out. He hasn't posted since. Maybe the treasure is still there. Maybe the Reverend found more than gems. Maybe some secrets stay buried for a reason. Either way, the next time you pass an old church, ask yourself what's really beneath your feet.